I'm Professor Eric Martin. Hello. And today I want to give you a little bit of a midterm pep talk. Yep, that's right. We are already at the halfway point of the semester, and it seems like it's a good time for us to reflect a little bit on what we've done so far and to think a little bit about what we're going to do next. Now, in a lot of ways, what's been going on the discussion boards, what's been going on in your exam are, symbolic of your work as a college student, at least this terms. They tell some sort of story, I suppose, about the level of your commitment, not only to this class, but also to your college education. But your work so far, it's only half the story. It's not even half the story. It's a little less than half. We got a lot of semester left. So the rest of it can still be written. We're entering a new phase of the class as we go, into the second half. The second half of the course is going to work exactly like the first. You got a couple of more discussions, your second exam, then another handful of discussions, third exam. If at this point in the term you are, basically getting solid B's, then my suggestion is you just keep on doing whatever you're doing. You might need to do a little more of it. You might need to revise them, clean it up a little, make them a little nicer, a little sparklier, more polish on it. But if you've got a solid B, it seems like, kind of figured out what's going on in terms of the kind of time commitment that you need and time management required to make the most of your educational experience. It seems like you figured out an effective way to communicate your ideas, and just also in terms of figuring out, how to learn. My daughter is, she's on the swim team. They swim at the University of Idaho. And there's a big sign at the pool that says, you get out what you put in. And I know that's a bit of a sports cliche, but I also think it's true. I think that you can get as high a quality education here as you can anywhere else, depending on what you put into it. And I think that is even more true when we start talking about online education, because so much of the online education depends on you being on top of things, right? You get out what you put in. So, at this point, if your grade is not where you would like it to be, for whatever reason, now is your opportunity. An opportunity to practice one of the most important life skills that you can develop. And that is how to make a second half comeback. Yes, I like the sports metaphors. How can you take so-so showing up to this point and transform it into a win? All right? Well, one thing you have to do is you have to reflect on how you got into this position in the first place. And in order to do that, you have to be honest with yourself, all right, about how you got here. You can't be defensive. You can't make excuses. You have to sit here and think, yeah, all right, I really haven't done the work. Yes, I do spend more time watching television than I do thinking about this class. Yes, when I'm reading for this class, I'm reading in front of the television. No, I really haven't read anything. I'm just trying to wing it. You really have to be honest about yourself and your habits and what you have been putting into it. And then you got to decide, did you have a good plan and then you failed to implement it? Or do you need a new plan? Or did you think that you were going to be successful in college just by winging it? You didn't even have a plan. You just thought you'd come out here and play a little pickup ball. All right? Now's the time. Halfway through the semester, you can make some changes. You can make some revisions to your plan. Maybe you know how to do it already. If you need some help, thinking about how to revise your plan for being successful in college, then go talk to your advisor. Go chat with the people at Career and Advising. Come chat with me. I'll help you figure out a new plan. Now is the time of year that a significant number of students disappear. They drop courses, and they drop needlessly. Statistically, students who drop are unlikely to come back ever. Your best chance, statistically, of graduating from college is by staying in your classes. So this is a motivational talk, so to speak, to make sure that no matter where we're at, we stay in our class, we figure out how to make things work from this point forward. Although Idaho is in the top 10, I think, in the nation in terms of the percentage of our population that graduates from high school, we're near the bottom in terms of high school graduates that go on to college, and we stay at the bottom in terms of folks who actually finish college. And if you're interested in some of the statistics on this, I suggest you go to the website Idaho Go On. If I was sharper technologically, I'd show it to you right now, but I don't know how to do that yet. Idaho Go On. Click on the link for policymakers and click on the stats. The stats indicate that for every year of college that you put under your belt, you increase your earning power between 10 and 20%. The other stat that's on there that is very interesting to me is that when it looks at long-term unemployment, 9 out of 10 of the people in Idaho that have been suffering from long-term unemployment did not have a bachelor's degree. In other words, finishing college will not only help you secure better employment, secure a higher level of income, it'll also help you stay out of the unemployment bracket, help you keep a job. Anyway, now, the idea behind this class, History 101 or 102 online, is that this is part of the general education core. And that the skills you develop, time management, professional writing quality, deep reading, recognizing and analyzing data, that doesn't even have anything to do with history yet, all right? But being able to do those things are useful for whatever your field is, and it'll make you a better major. Now, spring registration is just around the corner. It's time for y'all to go and make an appointment with your advisors. Make sure that you get released for registration. Make sure you know what your courses are going to be. Show up for your advising with your advising talk. Show up prepared. Show up with a copy of your program plan. They look like this. It's not written backwards. Go to the LCSC online catalog. Fire one up for whatever your major is. If you don't have a major yet, just pick a major. It doesn't matter, because if you are a freshman or a sophomore, you ought to be focusing on the left-hand side of the column anyway, which is the general education column. All right, you need to get that done. That is the part that is the same for almost everybody at the institution. If you have not completed English 102, you need to get in English 102 and you need to finish it. It is a prereq for many classes. Do not put your math requirement off. It is the Achilles heel for many of our students. Take care of your math requirement. Get it finished up. Public speaking. If you can avoid taking it online, do so. Take it in public. You'd be surprised how employable a person could be simply by being able to stand up in front of 30 or 40 people and not hyperventilate. There are jobs for people like that. Your social sciences. Now, on the one hand, your social sciences have to come from two different fields, right? So history and anthropology, for example. And on the other hand, History 102 or History 101, whatever the other half of this course is for you, also counts as a diversity component. Yes, this is my effort to get you to sign up for the other half of this course. It works exactly the same as this course does. That's either a good thing or a bad thing, right? But it works exactly the same. And so if you have figured this course out, then you will start with having figured the next course out. And I am continuing my big mission this year anyway is to make some progress on these online courses so that there's a little bit of more of a connection between teacher and student, which is lost in the technology. If you want to take one of my classes live and in person, and if the class is full, just let me know. We'll work on it. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about advising. Look at the schedule. Oh, I've got another thing I want to say about advising. For my advisees, the people who come to my office, and I'm the one that releases them, the very first thing I tell them is I am nothing but your advisor. I'm nothing but your advisor. You're in charge of your education. You need to understand how your program plan works. You need to know what courses you've taken. You need to know the proper order of the courses. You need to know the prereqs for the courses. In the end, you are ultimately responsible for taking the courses in the proper order. And let me give you the dramatic example that I like to use in my classes. All right? You come to me for advice. And that morning, my dog has died. And me and my wife got into a huge fight over whose fault it was. And on my way in, I wrecked my car because I was too busy thinking about this fight and not watching the road. And that's the day you show up to ask me a bunch of questions about your degree plan. Mine might not be there, but yours has to be there. Yours has to be there. Okay, yeah, that's a dramatic example, but the end result is make sure you understand how those program plans work. Okay, make sure you understand how those things work. Okay, finally, in the next week or so, midterm grades are going to be given out. Your midterm grade for this course is going to come in the form of a P, which means pass, or an F, which means fail. If you need a more exact calculation, then you need to use the formula that is at the top of the syllabus and use that Gen Ed math and figure it out yourself. That's all I got for you today. Just trying to give you the pep talk on terms of if you're not doing as well in the course as you'd like to be, how we can shift things up. If you want to talk about this kind of stuff in person, email me, call me, drop by the office, and until next time.